Live today. BeiMei, how's it going out?
Doing great.
Thank you for stopping
By
by.
the way, I'm BeiMei Kohler.
BeiMei Kohler, and this is Joe Flores. We're back at you again. I think the last time we did one of these episodes was in 2023 or 4, right?
Oh my gosh, I know. Time flies. 2 years later, we definitely should do more often.
We will, yeah, definitely do more. Let's see what the crowd likes. If this is a type of discussion that these guys will be in tune with, we're talking about flipping houses in the Tampa Bay market in 2025, which is an interesting time because some would say this is a downtrending market. Some are saying it's a recovering market. You know,
It's a very, what's the word, like a volatile market,
yes.
right? It's not very stable. Everybody's nervous. Is it a good time to buy? Is it a good time to sell? Well, in real estate, we always say yes. It's always a good time to buy. It's always a good time to sell. However, you want to buy smart, you want to sell smart. So I was just in the office with Joe, and Joe started asking me about the new flip house I just closed on 2 weeks ago.
BeiMei's always like flipping properties, selling properties, listing properties. So she's like a go-to person for me to have a discussion, an open discussion about, the market when it comes to flipping homes, people that want to get involved with it. What are people looking for? How should they approach a purchase if they want to flip a home? Do they stick to a $100,000 home or should they go to a $600,000 home to flip, right?
Well, that's $1 million question because there's many different there's a different ways I can answer that, but I wanted to share with you how I do all of my flips and how do I structure the finance part and how do I buy and what price range you buy and what is the thought process behind it. Like obviously, when you flip, your final goal, your end goal is to make money, right? Otherwise,
If it doesn't make more dollars, it doesn't make sense.
However, I always am prepared that it doesn't always work out the way that you want it to. So, yes, ideally, you want to make money. But if you know that it might, even if you lose money, but it's a risk that you're willing to take and able to take, which is very, very important, is do not play a game you cannot afford to lose. So, no, nothing is guaranteed. You hope to make money, but you might lose. So whatever might lose, as long as it doesn't affect your regular living, then that's a risk you can afford. So let's talk about yeah.
Yeah, we started this out with had a question, right? And my question to her was like, hey, when you look at buying homes and flipping homes, you always do multiple properties. Do you want to start with a smaller price point home, 1 to 200,000, or are you like something in between 2 to 400,000, or 4 to 600,000?
So that is all personal, as in like it's all about your available funds. How much do you have, right? If you have a large funds that's available for you to use, so you don't have to borrow the hard money loan, which we'll get into a little bit detail about that. You can borrow money to flip house. You can use your own money to flip house, and you can borrow from either family or friends, or you can borrow from institution. Okay, so each have its pros and cons. Usually, I would say start small. Like start crawling before you can run, right? Don't just get $1 million home and try to do a flip because you're gonna lose big too. So stay within the price range. I would say if you start out between 200 to 300 will be a good price range. However, nowadays trying to find a house that's in that price range is near impossible.
In Tampa Bay, yeah, it's.
Yeah, because in that price range, either you're in a really sketchy neighborhood or the house needs a major renovation, which is another side that you really want to consider. If this is your first flip home, do a cosmetic renovation. Don't touch the structural because there's so much involved when you move a wall. It's not just a wall, right? You have plumbing issue, maybe go with it. You have electrical part that goes with it. Then now you have to do the wall, like ceiling repair. There's a lot to go with moving a wall. So from the very beginning, you I would say start small. Start with something that with very minimal structural requirement, but do a lot of cosmetic. You can put your own touch on it by painting it, by adding this, by staging it, and also stay within the price range you can afford to lose. Okay.
Does it matter if it's wood frame or block home? Is that the thing?
It does because the block will be stronger and have less of the termite problem. So wood frame comes with its own set of pest problems, right? The living
wood destroying organisms.
Yes, exactly.
WDO.
So, yes, WDO. So if not saying that you don't buy it, but it has more, you need to do more research. You need to do more inspection. You need to be sure to buy something that doesn't have existing problem or, like even if it had a problem before, as long as it's not a structural damage, then you're still okay, but just have to be very careful. So I would say if it's your first house, do a block. So it's easier, it's stronger, it's a little less problem.
Okay. So let's talk about one of the examples of something that you've maybe flipped in that range, like kind of like that starter level, 150 to 300, I guess.
Well, okay, so my first flip house was back in August or September 2022, and that was, I think I bought it at 250. Now, remember, back then, that was before pandemic. No,
actually, that's
right after pandemic, so the price has not doubled yet. So we can still pick up a house at that price range and still okay. And that house was actually in Tarpon Springs.
This is 22, you said?
It is 22, actually.
Okay, 22. Okay,
you know what? This is live. And if I make a mistake, I can't even go back. So I take it back. It's right after or in the middle of right after pandemic.
Right.
Somehow I still was able to get a house for 255. I think so. Yeah, 255. Me and my partner went in together because I was so afraid to do it on my own.
So you've had the urge probably for years to kind of make that jump?
Yes.
And
absolutely.
Okay.
So I got my license back in 2018. Pretty much after 2019, 2020, I really wanted to do flip already, but I just never dare to pull the trigger because if you have never done something, especially a brand new territory, it's just very scary, right?
And that's money on the table and
real money on the table.
You don't want to make that mistake of,
absolutely
making a wrong move on the first one. So this first house, was it a 2-2, 2-1, 3-2?
So it was let me think about it. It was a 3-2, but was able to change it into a 4-2 because it has a separate area that was they were using it as a living area, but we added a closet and then we put a door, so that becomes a fourth bedroom.
It's like a sunroom?
Sort of.
Kind of thing?
Yeah, sort of.
Okay.
So we were able to change from 3-2 to 4-2. And
was it counted as heated square feet at the time?
Oh yeah, no, it was.
It was heated.
It was, but it's just not a bedroom because it didn't have a separate door and it did not have the closet. So we added the closet and we add a formal an entry door to it. So, so we bought it for 255. I think that we were gonna put only 50 grand into it, so keep it as 305, right, in that range. But of course, that just like any flip, once you start tearing the walls down, I went big because I completely changed the structure. I went all out for my first flip.
If anybody knows BeiMei is so detailed and she wants it the way she wants it.
I know, right?
Not how the renter needs it or anybody, but how, so
I do not recommend it. So you need to start a little bit slow, a little bit
taste.
Small. Yes. Right. But I went all out. So it was a total renovation and we were going to spend only 50 grand. But in the end, I think it cost us close to 70 grand. So it was much more than what originally we planned.
So when you saw this and when you bought it at 255, how much was the value, do you think, as is on the market? Was it 255 worth it?
No, I think that house, if it was it's been 2.5 years, so I have to think about the details. I think that it was on the market for quite a while and it just looked really rough. The picture was not good at all. I think if I didn't do any renovation, just do a new set of listing pictures, I probably can make a few thousand already. So they were not selling it correctly. The pictures was not good.
Gotcha.
So it sat on the market for a very long time. And of course, when I go in, I always make cash offer. Even if I had to later do a refinance, which I don't recommend, and we can talk about finance in a different episode, in a different stream. So anyways, back to that.
And you're thinking 50,000. So you're getting this house. What's coming to your mind saying, hey, this is going to cost me 50,000? What are you looking at?
Well, I already knew that I'm going to completely reconfigure the kitchen and then tear the whole kitchen down and do a brand new kitchen with new cabinets, new quartz countertop,
Mhm.
new design,
Okay.
and I think the floor, we did a new floor in half of the house, not all of the house. And we had to raise the floor because it's a 70s home. So when you first walk in, the living room was like one step
Drop
down.
down. Yeah.
And I really hate that because I always imagine one day I'm gonna come home and fall on my face. So I raised that floor and I learned how to do that during that flip. So we did that, and of course we had to do 2 bathrooms, complete renovation of the 2 bathrooms. It needs a new roof, so we put a new roof in.
Okay.
But during the whole, reno process, we realized that the plumbing needs to, not entire house replumbing, but we had to do a lot of new plumbing. We had to deal with some pest problems because that one had a, it's called a subterranean termite,
Termites. Yeah.
which is different from the wood destroying termite because people don't understand one is seasonal. Like the wood destroying termite, it comes in season and their damage is not as large as subterranean, which they live in the ground. Once they get into your house, they make their own house. They really destroy it. They take over the house. So the house had a little bit of that problem, not a lot. So, but we still have to stop the project, do the whole treatment. So that was unexpected. Long story short, we ended up spending almost 70 grand. So now we're 255 plus 70. So we're 325 into it. So I was gonna list at 375, but the thing is, when you put that much in, and then you list at 375, you still have to pay commission, right? After the commission, after closing cost, it left us with like less than what we were hoping to get. So I adjust the listing price to 410, I believe.
So you went up a little
In
bit.
the end, we sold, I think we closed at very close to 400, a little bit over 400. So my partner and I both walk away with a very
wiping
good.
The sweat. They're wiping the sweat.
I'm telling you, we were so happy because
Yeah.
we literally went in and says, all right, we hope we can make money. And if we can break even, at least we learned lessons, right? If we lose some, as long as it doesn't affect our lifestyle, we're okay.
There's no losses. There's definitely lessons on that one.
Absolutely.
And once you do it once, like I said, it was the first time. So you're scared, not thinking about, what could work, what could not work. But I can only imagine how much confidence it gave you after that close of a sale.
Absolutely.
And learning that process of elevating the floor, treating the termites. You just became superwoman overnight, just like that.
No, definitely not.
No?
I tell you
Okay.
what. So since that house, this is the new house that I just closed 2 weeks ago. That's my number 6 now.
Wow.
So it's my number 6 flip house. And every single flip house, I learned so many lessons because there's always unexpected, okay? The 2 things I want to mention. One is no matter how well planned you think you are, you still have to make that leap. You still have to purchase that first flip house because you can think about it for 10, 20 years and never do one. And the pain and growth, like, all the pain that you have to go through, all the growth you have to go through, you can only gain by doing. You can never gain those experience by thinking and sitting and wanting. So you have to do it, okay? Hopefully you can find somebody that was a little bit experienced. And if any of you want to do it, if it's a good property, I'll be happy to be either a mentor or a partner, and we can figure something out.
The phone numbers are in the description below. If you want to get in contact with BeiMei or Joe, feel free. You have an experienced mentor in the market. You got to be in the water to catch the wave. And one thing about it, she's in the water catching those waves.
Yeah, let's talk about this most recent house that I want to do because that's what started the conversation. So I bought that house for $530. Okay. Here's the history of the house. The house is in 1 block from Del Mabry, and right off of the water. So it's in a great location. It's not gated, but the little community is really cute. The landscapings are wonderful, and here's the reason why I love the house so much. It's right on the lake, and it's facing west.
Facing west. Oh,
sunset every day. It is so beautiful that I like it. Since I bought it, since I closed on it, I've been in that house almost every day, just because I love the backyard so much.
I know where to catch you around 6:30 to 7:30 every.
Absolutely. So it's in a great location.
Flood zone?
It's non-flood zone.
Okay, not
Yeah, I
flood zone.
usually do not buy any house in flood zone. Not that you can't buy, but there's just different set of risk you have to calculate, right? If it's tear down, then absolutely, because now new construction always build up.
So, and this property was on the MLS. It was on the market. That
Yes.
You purchased?
So let's get into that. So the house was on the market last year in August. When it first came on the market, it was listed at $599, so just shy of $600,000.
Mm-hmm.
And during the 6 month of listing, it dropped the price 3 times. It dropped from $599 to $589, then to $579 and $570 in February this year. I've been literally watching this house for 6 months or 7 months, or however long it's on the market. Because
before the hurricanes hit, then it was on the market right before, right after.
It was on the market August 10th. So when is the hurricane?
I think
I
it was
don't
like
remember.
September, right? It was like September, I think.
So this is a good point because the house did not get affected by the hurricane whatsoever.
Right.
No damage anywhere.
Yeah.
So obviously no water damage because it's not on a flood zone, not in a flood zone.
Tried and true. There you go.
Exactly. So I watched it for that long. I didn't pull the trigger because the price is too high. Because as much as I love the home, I don't think I can buy at that price, still sell and to make a profit, right?
Yeah.
So I just waited and waited until it dropped to $570. At that price point, I know I can go in and make a offer they're very hard to refuse.
Okay.
So I made a cash offer, no appraisal, obviously, very flexible closing. I at first thought that let's do a fast closing. Most of the sellers like that. Turns out the seller do not want fast closing.
He actually wanted the property
because he's planning the next chapter of his life. He needs time.
Mm-hmm.
So, which to me is like, hey, it's better for me, right? Because I have more time to think about what I want to do. So it took about a month and a half, almost 2 months to close, which doesn't matter to me.
Your inspection period, did you extend it for those?
No.
Okay.
No. You want them to feel safe, right? If you extend the inspection period, everybody knows that you can walk away during that inspection period. So it doesn't give them that sort of comfort zone. Okay. So when you make an offer, you want your offer to be like more attractive, especially if you want to do a lowball offer. It's not a lowball. It's a reasonable offer, but still it's much lower than at the time it was at $570. Mm-hmm. So I made a $530 offer. But the reason I made a $530 offer is I waived my buyer agent commission and I took over the closing. So they don't have to pay closing costs.
Type of policy.
Yep. So if it's a regular deal, let's say, you have an agent that buys property for you for your flip property. So calculate that commission, calculate closing costs that seller would, pay. The price would probably right around like $550. So I just dropped the from $570 to about $550, $20,000 sort of discount that I bargained.
Move the money to the seller's pockets to let them make the sale happen.
So I bought the house for $570. Here's my plan. Ideally, okay, I want to put in about 60 to 70. I really don't want to exceed 70. So I have to be very careful what aspect of the house I chose to do and what aspect of the house I do will give me the most return. All right. So I want to keep it at 70. So that will keep my total in price at 600. 600, right? Yep. And I'm hoping to list for 850 or 875. I'm hoping.
So what do you have? This is the game that we need now. So what do you see? How are you going to improve this price 250,000? What do you see yourself adding to this property to increase the value of it?
Right now, it's one of the reasons, many reasons actually, I love this house is because the location of it. It's got a big lot. It's got 0.2 acres of land. It's got a big front yard, beautiful backyard, and it's got really nice bones. Like it's got good bones in this house. The layout I really love. It's got high ceilings. At the living room area, really high, which just makes it so airy. And makes the house appears much bigger than the actual square footage. And the square footage is actually in a sweet spot too. It's 2106 square feet. So it's not too big.
Right.
It's not too small.
Yeah.
So I kind of already knew my audience. Audience as in the buyer, pool is going to probably be a near retired or retired couple. So they may have kids come back to visit, adult kids. So they will have 3 bedroom. It's 3 bedroom, 2 bath, by the way. So they will have, bedrooms for the adult kids to come back and visit them. but they do not have little kids anymore. So the school district is not as important, and having a lake at the back is not that risky, because if you have young kids, lake becomes a potential problem, risk. So I didn't need 4 bedroom, because when you are retired, you don't want a big house. Yeah, so 3 bedroom is actually perfect.
Like you, they call it, what's the word?
Empty nester, which
yeah.
I'm becoming an empty nester in 2 months. I can't even believe it. My daughter is going to US in 2 months, and yeah, my lifestyle is in for a big change. I may flip 2 houses a year instead of 1. So anyway, ideally I want to do that, but I know it's a wishful thinking. Now, I think after I'm done with it, I can sell. I'm pretty confident I can sell for at least $750.
Okay, so now we haven't added any square feet at this point.
No.
Right?
No.
Okay. So it's just more updating with nice updates. Yeah.
Yep. So I'm gonna do a full scope renovation, as in, actually not even. The current majority of the floor is wonderful. It's a Spanish porcelain tile, and it's a very in color. It's a natural wood grain style. So right now the trend for renovation is all natural. It's a lot of wood. It's a lot of like not bamboo, was the wicker style. It's a natural earthy tone. So that floor is perfect. But I'm ripping out the kitchen entirely, completely redesigned.
What year is the house?
1978.
Okay, 70s.
Yeah, so right on the curse of, you have to now, if it's any year before that, you need a mold, inspection report. But this is right on that curse of the year that you don't need it, because the regulation changed already. So yeah, it's a 2,100 square feet, 3 bedroom, 2 bath, on a 0.2 acre lot with a lake as the background.
In this area, right off BeiMei, to have a little bit more than a quarter acre lot is good.
It's good. Yeah, it's very good, and it's very convenient to go wherever you want to.
Replacing the windows?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, because if buyer potential, the future owner want to replace it, they can. The reason I'm not doing it is because if you replace one, you should replace all, because it'll look really odd if you do a renovation, only replace one or few windows, right? I mean, you can. Some house you can, but not this house. But if I want to replace all of them, the expense is huge. And I don't know if I can make money on that. I might get it back, but not making a profit.
So when we started the discussion, one of the main questions was, when you purchase a property, what are you looking for in return? Like, what should someone say, oh, I'm going to make $300,000 off this one house? Or are they looking at, like, I'd like to make 20% return on my money, or maybe just flat 20,000 profit? How is, I guess, how you look at it?
So I guess that my experience, I'm not saying this is the right way. There's no right way or wrong way, but my way has always been, I want to get, let's say, between 15 to 20% return, but I want to do it as quickly as possible. Now think about it. If you get let's say 20% return in 3 months, your annual return is 80%. Because theoretically, if you repeat that, in 3 months and do 4 flips, each house gives you a 20% return. That's 80%. So that's an 80% like a return on investment. But I always knew that you wish for the best, but you always plan for the worst. So I don't walk away disrupting my life and also be totally unhappy, right?
In tears at nighttime.
Angry. I know, I don't want to do that. So I always say, all right, this is what I think I want to make, but this is what I think realistically I'm confident to make. And if I break it even, then what lessons I can learn. And if I say lose 10%, I'm okay. You move on to the next. You win some, you lose some. Not every flip you're gonna make.
And time frame you would like?
Well, okay. Ideally, 3 months is good, right? 3 to 4 months, which means that you have 2 weeks planning, meeting with all the subcontractors, figure out the design, finalize on everything, and then usually for renovation, depend on the scope of the renovation, between 1 to 2 months. And once it's all done, then you list it. It might take a month, for it to sell, and then it's going to take another month for it to close. So 2 plus 1 or half, 4 4 to 5 months. That's realistic.
Yeah.
If you can do it, everything really
The
fast.
work aspect wise, from the time you close it until it's on the market, ideally 60 days.
Yeah, 60 to 90 days. Basically, 2 to 3 months, you want it to be on the market, and then it depends on the market and price.
Any permits being pulled around this time?
I don't know yet because I still are debating on a few, aspect of work. And then when we mentioned about windows, one of the other reason that I don't want to change windows because of a permit. Because once you involve in permit, now your time frame is going to be expanded because you have no idea how
Out of
long
your
it's gonna
control
take.
in a way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I rather do work that does not involve in permit.
That makes sense.
But you also wanted to show the house with the best potential that someone comes in will say, hey, I'm willing to take that, take on that task, that do it myself, change windows, change this and that might involve in permit. Because to them, it doesn't matter about time frame anymore. They don't need, to finish anything at the particular time frame. So
that's nice.
Yeah.
So that's great.
Wishful
experience.
thinking.
Look at that.
And so I was telling Joe that I really wanted to do a HGTV type of renovation series in Chinese, since Chinese is my my first language. So I have 3 episodes that I already recorded.
Okay.
Basically talking about how how did I get into this, my experience, my background, everything, and also the numbers specifically about this flip and what I want to do inside of the house. We have a whole walkthrough of all the things I want to change and do in the house. And then once the renovation starts, I'm going to have different episodes add on to it. The demo stage, the drywall stage,
And this is going to be posted on your starting out on your YouTube channel, or
we're going to do all over. Okay. So we're going to post on YouTube channel. We're going to do on Facebook. We will do a short reel as well. And the 2 major things I want to do is the TikTok and the Little Red Book, which is a new replacement of the TikTok, which is huge in China. So
the Little Red Book?
Yeah. So the whole series is going to be in Chinese.
That's fine.
So if anybody is
get
interested,
your Google translations already.
Absolutely. Hey, I don't know if I'm going to do it is it going to be a successful flip or is it going to be a flop?
Flips or
In
flops?
fact, yes, that's another show, right? I have no idea, but I'm
Will
hoping.
It be a learns or what's it called, losses or learn?
Well, even if I don't make money, I know I'm going to gain a lot of experience. So no matter what, I'm hoping to walk away a winner. Just let's see what kind of winner that I'm walking away, right?
And you guys stay tuned. We might do more of this. This is really good game and good information. Every day there's someone new that wants to learn how to flip their first property. We get so many out-of-state people that want to invest in Florida as well. And these are the questions that they're asking. So
if you have any questions, don't hesitate to leave all your questions on the channel. I don't know how that works, but if we,
in the comments,
when we do the next one, we'll answer and address all these questions as best as I can. So I would love to share everything that I know with all of you.
You'll see more of this. BeiMei Joe, Joe Flores. You guys stay tuned. See you next time. All righty. That was good. Let's go. And then once we get that end stream.
Yay!
Okay, let's see how that.